What is personification? Personification is when you make an object, say for example a waffle, and have it do something only a human can do. For example, jump. Now you can combine them into the phrase, the waffle jumped out of the toaster. When using personification, it is the verb or action word that shows the human quality. For example, jumping and dancing are actions humans can do. Now let's take a look at the following example. The first rays of morning tiptoed through the garden. Tiptoed is the human action being used to describe the first rays. It is obvious the sun's rays aren't actually tiptoeing. Tiptoeing is something a person does, therefore making this phrase an example of personification. Let's take a look at another phrase. Peggy heard the last piece of cake in the refrigerator call her name. What is the non-human noun? It's the cake. What human action is the cake performing? Calling Peggy's name. What about in the next phrase? The moon played hide and seek with the clouds. What is the non-human noun? The moon. What human action is the moon performing? Playing hide and seek. Obviously, the moon cannot play with the clouds. Now, let's have you practice. How could you create a phrase using personification? Begin with the non-human noun. Let's have you start with the noun fire. What did the fire do? Think about a human behavior. What about ran? Combine this noun and action into the phrase, the fire ran wild. Let's practice once more. How could you create a phrase using the following noun? Popcorn. What did the popcorn do? Think about a human behavior. What about leapt or leap? Combine them to create the phrase, the popcorn leapt out of the bowl. One thing to understand about personification is that it is not literal but figurative. What does this mean? Let's take a look at the following example. The flower waltzed in the gentle breeze. The writer doesn't actually mean that the flower is dancing a waltz. That would be the literal meaning. We need to look at the figurative meaning, which means that the flower is gently moving in the breeze. So think of figurative as imaginative. So let's review what we have learned about personification. We've learned that personification is a type of figurative language, meaning that it is not to be taken literally. Personification gives human qualities to non-human things. It is the verb or action word that shows the human quality. But you may be wondering why we use it. We use it because it brings inanimate things to life, so that their nature and actions are understood in a better way. It is also easier for us to relate to something that is human or that possesses human traits. So, your assignment is to find a personification phrase or make one up. Decide what object or non-human noun you want to personify and what human action will perform. But don't forget to include your personification in your story. Have fun!